Hey people, I know it's been a while since I've done a rant, so this time I'm not truly doing a rant, but I'm doing a rant. I'm going to make something clear to you. Here's something most people don't understand or don't think about. 99% of the population pays in the majority of the money to the Treasury that is used to pay for not only food stamps and social programs, but also subsidies given to things like oil companies, airliners. It pays for wars. It pays for all of it. Okay? And 99% of the population pays that in. But that 99% receives the lower amount of money in wages that are distributed among all that 99% of people. Now, 1% of the population pays in the smallest amount to the Treasury. But that 1% makes the majority of the amount of wages, that means the paycheck they get, of all the people in the nation. So in other words, let's say the 99%, every person in that 99% made $1, but they paid 30 cents of that dollar into taxes every month. Okay? That right there. But the 1% made $100, and they paid in on that $100 $15 to $0 into the community funds to take care of the people. Okay, we're there, right? You understand that now? Now, I looked it up. The 99%, now I can't remember if it's like 43 or 47% of the taxes for the 99% of people is used on social programs. That's food stamps, welfare, all of that. Okay? So, and then 53% of that money that went into the community fund goes to the 1% in subsidies, mainly subsidies. I looked up subsidies, I didn't look at taxes, but it's 53% of that money goes to that 1%. So that equals out of 100 people, 99 people have to split $47, 99 ways. That leaves each person 47 cents. Okay? One person gets $53 to themselves out of all that money. So that 1%, when they make that $100, they're getting from the government an added $53 that goes to oil companies, airports, big hotels, motels, big farms. all these kind of subsidies, okay, that they're getting. They're making around 25, 35 billion dollars in profit. Profit means that they've gone out, they've brought in the money from their product that the 99% made for them. They paid that 99%. They paid the money on their business to pay for the electricity and blah, 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 all of that, and the product, the raw materials and everything. They paid for all of that. And then they're handed between 25 to 35 billion dollars in their hand that belongs to just them. While you're going out there and you're busting your butt to make that product or to work in the service of that product, like in airliners or drilling oils, you're out there and you're making just enough to scrape by. You're making maybe a little bit above minimum wage, but you're not making anywhere near a living wage. And do you think that's fair? Now, the difference between Republicans and Democrats at this moment, that may change. Republicans used to be the bigoted party. They got voted out and just about died and then changed their name to the Republicans. And a lot of the Republicans that didn't like the change joined the Democratic Party. And the Democratic Party became what the Republican Party used to be. And then the Democratic Party just about died out, had to change their name. And now the Republican Party had all the people who didn't like the way things were changing, went back to the Republican Party, and the Republican Party is what the Democrat Party used to be when it almost died. Just get that first. If you can understand that, if you can follow that, that means this is your Democratic Party. Way back when, and let's say they were called the Boogaloos, or the Boogies. So that's your Democratic Party, what they used to be, the Boogies. The people got sick and tired of the bigotry and their money grubbing and all their bull crap that was going on that left the 99% out. So the people voted to kill them. Meh, meh, meh. We don't want them people no more. Okay? And at that point in time, the Republican Party was called the Snoogies. Okay? So that's your Republican Party back then. So all the people from the Boogies that didn't like how the Boogies was run came out of the Boogies and went to the Snoogies. And they brought some of their bad habits with them. Okay? So they, started changing the Snoogies to be more like the Boogies used to be. Not quite as extreme, but more like the Boogies used to be. And because the Snoogies were enjoying things so much and getting so much benefit, they started being more like the Boogies used to be. And the Boogies decided, well, we can't continue this way, so we're going to become the Republicans. Well, the people got tired of what the Snoogies were doing, so they voted them out. minus the money. And a lot of these snoogies went over to the Republican Party. Because at that time, that was the winning party. So now you got a bunch of snoogies in the Republican Party. The snoogies became the Democrats. Okay? So now our Republican Party of today is what the snoogies used to be. And the snoogies is what the boogies used to be, which is our Republican Party of today. Our Republican Party of today has bigoted, homophobic ideologies. They want religious rule which they themselves will not follow. Which means women will be subjugated because that's the way they believe. Okay? They used to be the snoogies and the boogies, and now it's the Republicans this way. They call themselves Christians, but they're truly not Christians because they are unwilling to follow the rules of the Bible that they expect everybody else to follow. They want only everybody else to follow the rules of the Bible that they find acceptable to follow. Okay? That's the way they are. On top of that, they think that rich that gets the $53 of your money you're paying in deserve that money. And you people down there, that 99% that's doing all the work, so them rich people can sell that product to become rich, or sell them services to become rich, deserve nothing. So they're constantly trying to cut your food programs. They're constantly trying to cut your housing programs. They don't want to even pay for housing for the vets. And the proof in that is the fact that they voted to defund that program. Okay? That Obama put in place to help to house the homeless vets. The Republicans have defunded that. They've cut the budget for food programs for in schools. So they don't care about that 99% that made them people rich. They care about that rich bunch. Because that rich bunch pays them the most money in lobby money. Okay? The poor ain't going to give them that money. And that's not just campaign money. They get money in their pocket from lobbyists, like the NRA. That's making them richer. They don't think making $35 billion in profit is enough. They need that 53 extra dollars on every $100. While you are getting 47 cents, and it's actually 47.47 cents, which rounds up over 47 cents, but you know the government. They're not going to give you 47.5 cents. They're going to give you 47 cents. And then they're going to take the half cents and give that to the rich. Or spend that on some war. Or squander that away somehow. And if that isn't enough, then they're going to go into the other program you pay into called Social Security that you pay separately into than your normal taxes, your state and federal taxes. You pay a separate amount into Social Security that goes into an account in your name. It is your money. It is connected to your Social Security number. And mainly the Republicans have done it, but Obama did it too. They're going to come in and they're going to say, hey, we're going to borrow several million or $billion from that money you put in there because you're on a way big surplus on there. Hey, we're going to borrow some of it. And then they don't pay it back. And then they start calling that program socialism because they don't want to pay that back. They don't want to have to pay that back. And as long as they've got you believing that that is socialism and that you don't deserve socialism, you sit back and you say, yeah, you're right. We don't need it. Nope. That's not fair. The 99% shouldn't be getting all that socialism. They shouldn't be getting that 40-some-odd% from the taxes. No. But they forget to tell you the 53% the rich are getting. Because as long as they don't tell you about that 53%, you're going to keep on hollering, nope, the 99% don't deserve that. They don't need that. They don't get that. They shouldn't have that. They are paying in the most to that treasury. But the Republicans are wanting to give them the least in the benefits. The rich are paying in the least to that treasury. And the Republicans are wanting to give them the most in the benefits. The 99% is getting the least in their pocket to take home to pay their bills. And the Republican wants to give more to the rich. The rich is getting the most to go out there and squander on things like yachts and year-long vacations and holidays in tropical areas and all that fun stuff and $1,000 plates at some special restaurant for bragging rights, and the tummy tuck and the nose job and the boob job and the ass lift and the lip shaping of the pussy. All of that. They get it all. Including going to another country to get an abortion if they want one, or sending their mistress to another country for an abortion if they want one. But they want to take all of that away from you and give it to the rich. And you're sitting back and you're saying, oh, that sounds fair to me. That sounds just right to me. Let's keep that up to me. You're happy with that. Because you're not willing to listen to the 53% that the rich are getting from them taxes you're paying in. You're not willing to listen to that. You don't care about that. The only thing you care about is the Republicans have told you how horrible it is that the 99% is getting 47% of the budget on programs to help them. Because the 1% won't pay is out there charging you so much. Can you explain this to me? The oil companies are getting millions in subsidies. Okay? Millions. They're not getting hundreds of thousands. They're not getting thousands. They're getting millions and maybe even more in subsidies. Okay? They've raised the price on gas. But yet they made $35 billion in profit. Profit. Past paying off their workers, past paying off the cost of running that oil rig or whatever. They got $35 billion in profits. And many of their workers can't afford to feed their children. And need those programs to have housing and to feed their children. Because the rich won't pay them the wages they deserve. And they're asking 99 people to divide $47 between each other for subsidies. While that one rich guy has that $53 in his pocket. Pays his workers the least amount. And charges his customers as much as he can possibly get away with. So that his workers can't even afford the product they are making. And the Republicans think that is fair. And they want to do more of that. They want to give the rich more than 53% of the subsidies. 25% of the nation's debt was given to the rich under Trump. 25% of the nation's debt was given to the 1%. But yet they're expecting the middle class and the poor to pay for that. And you're sitting back and you're saying, oh, that's fair. The poor get too much. They get 47 cents on the dollar while the rich get $53. Think about that for a minute. You think the poor and the middle class are getting too much? They're not getting paid enough wages so that they can live. The products they made cost so much they can't buy it. And the Republicans are wanting to cut the programs they need. Also, they can get 57 or 47 cents, while the rich are getting $53 for each person. How's that for a breakdown? How's that for a wake-up call? How's that for a realization? Our forefathers never wanted a party system. And the partisan bullshit that's going on today is exactly why. Our forefathers wanted our system and our people to vote for their politicians on policies. What policies those politicians held? They wanted the people to focus on the policies. too many of you too busy focusing on the party. Now, yeah, I say right now vote Democrat. Because Democrats have the best policies right now that help the middle class and the poor. One day, that might not end up being the fact. But if we want to get rid of this Republican bullcrap, we've got to vote them out of office. And be forewarned that once they're voted out of office, they are going to join the Democratic Party. And they're going to play nice until you forget who they used to be. And then they're going to go back to it. And the Democratic Party is going to change. Because you are going to ignore what their policies are. You are not going to look up what their voting history are. You're going to be like, oh, but Bernie Sanders never voted against gay rights in Congress. No, he never voted against it. He also never voted for it. And then when he went back to, I think it's Maine or Vermont, and they had a bill for gay rights, he had voted against that bill. But he's not yet lying to you when he says he's never voted against it in Congress, because he hasn't. But he also hasn't voted for it. He doesn't tell you that. It's the same way as the Republicans tell you about the 47% that the poor and the middle class, 99% of the population gets from the Treasury. But they never tell you about the 53% the 1% get from the Treasury. They never tell you about how little of a paycheck the 99% is getting. Well, how much of a paycheck the 1% are getting. And you guys all close your eyes and don't bother to research what the hell is going on and to vote on politicians for their policies. Not because they belong to one party or another, but their policies. Their voting history on bills that they created, what bills they created, how they voted on their bills, how they voted on bills others have created. You don't bother looking at that. Not at all. You just look at the fact, oh, it says Republicans, so I'm voting for Republicans. You don't care what they stand for. You don't care how they voted on bills. You don't care about anything but the fact that the name Republican is on their political party. And you're killing our country. And others of you are out there listening to what the Republicans are saying. And you're not bothering to look up the facts. The truth. You are too far willing to believe every single freaking word the Republicans are saying. Am I saying that the Democrats tell the truth all the time? No, they don't. That is why I went out and I supported Pete Buttigieg in 2020. I know he's not a perfect man, but his policies that he implemented were far better than anybody else's. Did more good for the people than anybody else's. But he didn't become the nominee. Biden. And Biden's policies were far better than anything Trump has screwed up on. Biden's policies are far better than anything the Republicans are selling. And anything that the Republican voting history in Congress shows for at least the past 12 years. So you just keep on keeping your eyes closed, only listening to what those Republicans are saying, ignoring the facts, and watching our democracy die. Because the Republicans have already put in judges who have gotten rid of women's health care rights, who have gotten rid of voting rights, who have gerrymandered up the ass in Republican states. I'm not saying Democrats haven't done that. But in comparison, one Democratic state doing that compared to 13 or 20 Republican states doing that is a drop in the bucket. Because for the most part, Democrats are trying to get rid of this extreme gerrymandering that's going on. They're trying to make it so that we have fairer maps. So the people actually have a voice. The Republicans are trying to take away your voice. Does that mean in the future that wouldn't change? No. That means at this moment, that is what is happening. And we've got to stop it before we lose everything. The Republicans right now are going to the farthest extreme because they're enjoying the 1/3 of this nation's ignorance. And are more than happy to try and sway that other third in the middle to their side with every lie they can tell. Or to make the other side so disgusted with politics that they don't vote. Because they know that's the only way they can win. And that's the only way they can change the system so that the Democrats or independents could never win again. They know that. And then they'll have carte blanche to take away every right they possibly can from you. Remember what it was like before FDR. They called it the dirty 30s for a reason. The 20s were in such bad shape. 1920s were in such bad shape for a reason. People were living in the parts of New York, in tent cities, and near the Capitol building, in tent cities, for a reason. Corporations got away with basically making corporate towns that was basic slavery for a reason. And our nation said no to that and worked hard to change that for a reason. But you have forgotten today what that reason is. Hell, the 20s and 30s wasn't that bad for the rich. had it made. They were making more profit than they could keep their hands on. That's how people like the Rockefellers got so rich. As they would say, richer than God. They got that way. Because the 20s and the 30s were a benefit to them. They could get away with paying their workers the least amount and cheating the workers from every penny that they could. They would raise the prices on their products to where people could hardly even afford it. Ford Motor Company seen that happening and they said, no way. I'm going to make a car that the middle class and the poor can afford. And that's how the Model T came around. And that's how the poor and the middle class was able to stretch out even further and force these companies to start paying better wages because the people could travel further for work. And then FDR come in. He brought in Social Security. Welfare was made. And our nation started doing a hell of a lot better. The tent cities in Washington Park and in New York Park started being torn down and people started having homes to live in and jobs they could get to and products they could buy. Now the majority of Republicans are the rich. And the majority of them are rich, white, Christian men. So think about that for a moment. And far too many of them are homophobic and bigoted. And sexist, to be quite frank. Yeah, they have it in the Democratic Party, but it isn't half as prevalent as it is in the Republican Party today. Think about it. Because it's up to you to decide you have had enough. Decide you don't want it anymore. And if you're disgusted with the way politics are going today, it is up to you to show your voice and vote against it. And vote for something better. Not to stay at home and let those who are making things so screwed up make all the decisions for you. That's how we got here today. Because you refuse to make a decision for yourself. And you Democrats need to stop eating your own. Start highlighting the good that is being done. Start putting a spotlight on those candidates who are doing the best they can to help the people. And start drowning out this Republican bullshit of today. Because the facts matter. Because what's going on in politics today matters. And if you can't get out there and get a voice, all that has come so far is on you. It's on you. So sit back and be silent and keep on watching this nation go the way it's going. Or stand up and have a voice, because even a peble can make a ripple to the other side of a 100-mile pond.